So what happened at the court that was set for August 18, 2021 at the Okmulgee County District Courthouse with Judge Reheard? So for this court hearing, there were two different subject matters. One being the dismissal of my child support case, and the other was for the child custody and child visitation establishment of my son. If you take a look at my Google location, you can see that I was there at the Okmulgee County District Courthouse from 1:18 to 1:29 p.m. That day, I took my video camera with me so I could record my court proceeding. So on that court date, I wore a shirt that provided the Oklahoma Supreme Court rule that gave me authority to use my video recording device in any courtroom that's in the state of Oklahoma. The camera that I brought with me was a body-worn camera, and it was attached to my hip, and I was going to later put it on the table. So with all that being said, this is what happened on August 18th, 2021.
What's going on, y'all? I don't never go live, but man, I had to go live today, and I'm gonna tell you why. So I go to court. I'm not familiar with the Okmulgee County Courthouse and which of the courtrooms I need to go to or whatnot or whatever. So when I got here, I walked in. Like, there's metal detectors that you walk in, and there's two sheriffs that are at the metal detectors or whatever. Like, so when I walk in, the first thing he asked me was, that a camera on my hip? I told him yeah, and he didn't say anything about it. And he let me grab it from the tray after I done walked through, whatever. They wanted to check me for weapons, all this other crap. So, I didn't know which courtroom to go to once I got through the metal detectors or whatever. So I went upstairs to the court clerk, and I told him, I said, I'm here for my court date here. I'm at 1:30 with Judge Reheard. And she was like, oh, that's the little room next door to us. So I was like, okay. So I walked outside, and I go to the room, and there's two sheriff's officers that are standing in front of the door. As I'm making my way, I'm trying to make my way through them, and they stop me. And the one on the left of me, he asked me, he said, are you tying deal? And I said, yeah, I'm tying deal. And he was like, hey, he was like, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and tell you this. You're not going to be recording. Like, so go ahead and turn the camera off. And then he pointed back at a freshly placed sign on the courtroom door that said no video or audio recording, but there was no penal code citation giving them the authority to tell me that and to make me put my camera up. So I was like, okay. So I went ahead and I turned the camera off anyways, just to avoid the fight, whatever, because I was just asking for a continuance anyways. It's not like I was going in there and I was going to be saying what everybody really wanted to hear. Like, so as soon as I turned the camera off, he was like, so we've been monitoring your Facebook. He said, so you're not going to come in here and you're not going to do a citizen's arrest on the district attorney? I said, no. I said, today I'm just coming in to do a continuance, just to go ahead and ask for a continuance. And he was like, no, you're not ever going to come in here and do a citizen's arrest on the district attorney. So I rolled my eyes and I said, okay. So then he was like, yeah, so I'm not gonna expect you to come in here and start swinging on anybody or start hitting on anybody or anything like that. I said, no, man. I said, if you've been monitoring my Facebook, where have you seen anywhere that said I was gonna punch on anybody in the courtroom during my court proceeding? Where did it say anything about punching or hitting anybody after the court hearing was over, so once we got outside? I never said anything like that. I've been trying to keep it strictly legal, just to avoid situations like that. So he told me that somebody else was in the courtroom with her right now and that I needed to take a seat. So I took a seat, you know, I'm sitting outside the courtroom door, and the court clerk, I ain't gonna say the court clerk, but but an employee from the court clerk's office had came outside, and she said, "Is this the tiny deal that we've been talking about? Is this the tiny deal that we're looking for?" And they were like, "Yeah." And she said, "The judge isn't going to hear anything that you got to say because you haven't paid the filing fees for the petition, like to vacate the default judgment." And I said, "Okay." I said, "I'm just here to get a continuance on the other things that I filed for the last 6 months." And she goes, "Well, the judge isn't going to the judge isn't going to want to hear anything until you have the petition filed." So I said, basically, what you're telling me is if I can't pay the filing fees for that petition right now, that I don't have to go to court. And she was like, "That's exactly what I'm telling you." I said, "Well, I can't pay it." And she says, "Well, if you do a pauper's affidavit, that has to go to the judge, and then it has to be signed, you know, all this other crap." And she's like, "You can't just come in here without the petition being paid for as far as the filing fees, you know." I said, "Well, what about the other things that I filed? What about the interrogatories, the request for documents, the notice of ejection, the motion to rescind signature, the motion to vacate based off of a lack of personal jurisdiction? You know, what about those things?" She's not going to hear those things either. And she said, she acted like she didn't know what I was talking about, like I stunned her. And I said, "Yeah, see, there are other things that I've been filing into this case that we're supposed to talk about today. It wasn't just the petition, you know, So let me get back on here real quick, because I got the sheriff.
That sheriff deputy was Smokey Passion, chief deputy / investigator of the Okmulgee County Sheriff's Office. Badge number 503. The Okmulgee County Court Clerk's Office refuses to identify the court clerk who came outside and told me to leave. So I immediately called the agency office of everyone involved and gave them a complete notice of everything that had happened that day. Here is the recorded calls with everyone that I called that day.
Thank you for calling the Okmulgee County Court Clerk's Office.
No, 'cause I'm a man.
Our business hours are Mondays through Fridays.
Court Clerk's Office.
Yes, is Julia in?
I'm sorry, what?
Is Julia in?
Yes.
Okay.
She should be back in her office. I'll send you back there.
Huh?
Court Clerk's Office.
Is this Julia?
Yes.
This is Tiny Dill.
Hi.
Okay, something weird just happened when I just tried to come to court. There was two Okmulgee County sheriffs that were staying outside the courtroom, and they stopped me from going.
They do that every day.
And they stopped me from going in, and they told me that I couldn't bring my camera to record inside the courtroom.
No, there's no recordings inside the courtrooms anymore.
Okay, so where is the county? Where's the county penal code that says that? But because the Oklahoma Supreme Court says that I can.
We have it posted in the courthouse that there's no recordings.
I see the sign, but there's no penal code citation written to it that gives you guys the authority to make that decision. So
I don't know that, sir. That's something you would have to speak to the judges, but the judges can say whether or not they want recordings in their
because that
court.
rule was superseded by the Supreme Court on April 15th of 2011. And there's no...
I don't know that stuff, sir. I don't know any of any Supreme Court stuff.
I wore a shirt to court today that had citation that was written on it, and I was letting them know that I am recording. And they completely ignored it.
I don't know, sir. I don't know, sir. That's something you'd have to take up with the sheriff's office and with the judges.
Okay, I'm going to give a call to the judge's chambers and the sheriff's office.
Okay, but you did have a court date today, so...
I did. She wouldn't let me come in there. She told me that if I couldn't pay the filing fee, that I couldn't go in there and that the judge wasn't going to hear my case. That's what the court clerk had told me when she came out of the room. I'm sitting out there with the sheriffs or whatever, and she asked
the gentleman?
Yeah, and she asked me, is this the time and deal that we're talking about? And they said yes. And then she came to me and she said that because you didn't pay the filing fees for the petition, that the judge wasn't going to hear anything, and if I couldn't pay the filing fees, then I wasn't going to have court today.
Okay, so she was waiving she wasn't going to sign the pauper's affidavit?
The pauper's affidavit I happened to forget because I had to try to find a ride here. I didn't have a car.
Yeah, because remember I told you that you need to bring the pauper's affidavit here first to our office to where I could take it to the judge and present these two documents with that pauper's affidavit to see if she would waive the filing fee.
So this is my court docket for my child support case, for my child establishment, and my visitation. Now I wanted to get one thing clear because they were trying to say that because I didn't pay the pauper's affidavit or the filing fees for the petition that they're referring to keep me out of the courtroom on August 18th of 2021. Okay, so when we go down here to 5/20 of 2021 is when I began to file what was supposed to be heard in court that day. I had a motion to dismiss due to lack of personal jurisdiction, due to insufficient service of process, due to insufficient process. I also filed some interrogatories and requests for production. I filed a motion of a notice of motion objection. And then I also filed an affidavit that was in support of my pauper's affidavit, which was granted. And I also filed a petition for court-ordered child visitation and custody that was supposed to be heard on that court date. And I also filed the interrogatories and requests for production. I filed the proof of service for these things. And then child support had filed a response to my motion to dismiss. And then they filed a supplement to my motion to dismiss. So then I filed a motion to compel on the interrogatories for the child visitation. I filed a summons for child visitation. And then I filed an order to set hearing, which was approved and set for August 18th of 2021. I set the hearing for both of these matters for August 18th of 2021. And I also filed a response to a child support's response to my motion to dismiss. I filed a motion for default judgment. I filed an entry of appearance for pro se. I filed a notice of motion to set aside order on child support on the grounds of fraud, and thereby support order is void and grounds for its relief. I filed an affidavit of sworn statement. I filed a supplement to my response to their response to my motion to dismiss. I filed an entry of special appearance. I filed a subpoena to subpoena Melissa Spencer to court as a witness. I filed an order to set hearing. Now, child support filed a motion to dismiss on my claims because the motion that I had filed originally was improper format, and it should have been a petition. And then on top of that, I didn't file a summons to go with it. So they were trying to dismiss things, and I wasn't done as far as serving the witness to the court hearing, and I wasn't done serving both of the plaintiffs with the proper documents that I was filing. I wasn't done filing things such as like some more evidence, some more documents. So I filed a motion for continuance, and I also filed the revised motion, and I turned it into a petition. And I tried to file these things at the same time, but they were telling me that because I didn't have a pauper's affidavit filed, that they couldn't file the petition without me paying the the filing fee or coming with a pauper's affidavit. But when I came to court, I didn't have a pauper's affidavit, and they told me if I did, that the pauper's affidavit would not be good enough because the court was already started and the judge didn't have time to read the pauper's affidavit to sign it, so that way I could file the petition for free. But the petition had nothing to do with the court hearing that was going on that day. It was to ask for a continuance. And I just want to go ahead and note here that today is the 22nd of August, and there is still not a court minute filed from the Okmulgee County Court Clerk system into the Oklahoma Court Network system. So we're jumping back into the phone call.
I mean, I understand that, but there's other motions, and there's like interrogatories, there's requests for productions, there's motions for default, there's motions to compel, there's all that in there that we could have discussed today, and she didn't have to discuss the petition today. Like, that's what I told the court clerk,
I don't.
And she told me
I don't have.
Because the filing.
I don't have anything to. I don't have anything to do with the judge's chambers or her decisions, sir. Our office is just the office that actually just files the paperwork. So those issues you will have to take up with the judge herself or with an attorney, which you said you can't afford an attorney. So
I feel like the court clerk gave me the wrong information.
Well, no, sir, I didn't.
No, not you. There's another one. There's a short lady with glasses and dark hair.
Jamie?
Probably Jamie. She's dressed in white and black.
Today?
Yeah, today.
Hold on. Okay, there's nobody in my office dressed in white and black. There's a tall redhead girl.
She is short, and she's got black hair, and she's got like some white glasses. She has like a sweater on, like a throwover sweater that's kind of woven, and it's white, and she's got some spandex pants that are white with black designs on them. And she came out of the court clerk's office. And that was right before I came into the court clerk's office, and I told him who I was and what courtroom I needed to go to, and she pointed me to the room I needed to go to.
Yeah, there's nobody in here in my office dressed like that, though. So it must have been just somebody in the courthouse themselves telling you where to go, because there's nobody in my office dressed like that.
I didn't get to catch her name. I mean, I can come back up there and I can give a visual and point her out.
Okay, but what information was given to you?
She told me that because that the petition, that the recent petition wasn't that the recent petition wasn't filed, that I didn't have court today and that I needed to leave because I told her I didn't have the money to pay for it.
Okay, I don't know. Like I said, there's nobody in my office dressed like that, so you had to have been speaking to somebody else. Okay, well,
can you have somebody go outside and speak to the two sheriffs that are standing out in front of room 103?
Which they do that every day.
I know.
They stand out there every day for court.
But they know who I'm talking about because she was speaking to me while they were there, so they can identify who I'm talking about.
Okay. I mean, but they told you that the petition couldn't be filed if you couldn't pay for it, or?
No, she told me that because the petition wasn't paid to be filed, that the judge wasn't going to hear not anything that I already done filed into the case the last 6 months, and that she was more concerned with the petition, and that I didn't have court today. It's like if I couldn't pay the filing fees.
Okay. I mean, they're in court right now, so I can't really, I can go over and see if they are still in court and try to talk to the judge myself to see what is going on. Is that the only thing I can do?
Yeah.
So, if you want to, what time is it now? 1, almost 2. If you want to call me back in about 30 minutes, maybe I can find out an answer from the judge, and then I can let you know. Okay? Just call me back in about 2:30.
Yes, ma'am. We'll do.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Court clerk's office.
Yes. Those two sheriff deputies that are standing out in room 103. What is their name and badge numbers?
I don't know who's in there. I've not been into court, so I have no idea.
They should be standing right outside the courtroom.
Hang on just a moment.
Okay.
This is Julia. May I help you?
Yes. So what's the name and badge numbers of the two sheriff deputies that were standing out in front of room 103?
Sir, I don't know their badge numbers. That would have to come from the sheriff's office. I know one of them was Smoky Patchen.
Smoky Patchen?
That's the only one that I actually seen.
Yeah.
I didn't see the other one that was out there.
Because I wasn't able to make it back because the ride that I got is with a woman or whatever, and she had to be back in Tulsa to go make sure that her daughter got off the bus or whatever, so she can make it inside the house from school or whatever's going on with that. But she said that she didn't have time for me to come back to court, all the other crap. So this has kind of been a roundabout day. I mean, but you said that one of them's name was Smoky Patchens?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't know I didn't see the other one, so I don't know who you're talking about, sir.
Was Smoky the one in the black shirt?
I don't know. I'd have to go out there and look and see what he's got on. I didn't really pay attention to what he had on.
Okay. But you did say his name is Smoky Patchens.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I appreciate you, ma'am.
Mm-hmm. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for calling the Okmulgee County Court Clerk's Office. Our business hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. For protective order. Court Clerk's Office.
Yes, is Julian?
Yes, give me just one moment.
Okay.
Is this Tynan?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Let me transfer you to her. Hang on.
This is Julia.
This is Tynan. Did you try to give me a call back?
Yes. Are you downstairs for court?
No. Because she told me that I...
Okay. Okay. She said, yes, you need to be in court. So as soon as you get here, you need to bring me your pauper's affidavit, and I will take it into the judge. No videoing.
The pauper's affidavit, got left at home, so can I still come in there without the pauper's affidavit?
Well, you're going to have to pay for this paperwork probably to get filed if you want this petition to vacate and the summons filed. You'll have to pay for it. Or not address that today and address all your other stuff today.
That's exactly what I told the lady. I said I have other
Okay.
stuff to address today.
Okay. So yes, the judge said you need to come to court. You need to get here to court as soon as possible.
Okay, but you said that I couldn't record. I mean, I can record by law. So if you guys aren't allowing me to record, then like you guys need to provide like an authoritative citation telling me that I can't.
Okay, sir. I'm just letting you know the judge said that you needed to be here to court. If you want,
but it is absolutely important that I get this on video. So
you can discuss that with the judge when you get here, whether or not she will allow you to do that. That is totally up to the judge, not me, sir.
Okay. So
if you're wanting to come to court to discuss what you need to discuss, then you need to get here because she says that you need to be here at court. So, and if you come to court, then you can discuss that with her, whether or not she's going to let you video.
If she's not going to allow me to, then I don't want to come to court. But the law specifically states that
I don't know, sir, if she's going to, because I'm not in her courtroom.
That's what the law states, though. She does have no authority to tell me if I can or can't. Now, if she's going to give me hell about it, then I don't even want to come to fight like that.
Okay, I don't know, sir. That's something you'll have to discuss with her.
Okay.
So you'll have to come to court to discuss it with her.
So, okay.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Detroit Chamber, this is Steve.
Yes, this is Tyne and Dill, and I was calling to talk about a situation that happened yesterday when I tried to come to court.
Okay. I cannot talk to you about your case.
Well, I was told to call the judge's chambers in regard about like the video recording.
Okay, who told you that?
That's what the court clerk told me, and that's what Sheriff Deputy Smokey Patchins had told me.
Okay. You can send me an email that I can discuss your case with you.
What's your email address so I can reach you at?
Steve, STEVE, dot Trammell, TRAMMELL,
Okay.
at OSCN.net.
Nice. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
He told me that the only way that I was able to contact him and that he would discuss anything with me was by his email. So I sent him this email the very same day, and I have still yet to receive a response, and today's date is the 24th of August, 2021.
County Sheriff's Office. If you have an
Communications.
Yes, I believe I keep missing the call from this the sheriff.
Okay. Are you just not answering, or because he says he's been trying to call you, you're not answering your phone?
Well, I've been on the phone with the court clerk or whatever at the same time. I'm trying to discuss the situation at the same time.
Okay.
But I'm off the phone with her now, and I have the sheriff's deputy's name. I just need his badge number.
Who?
Smoky Patches or whatever.
Okay. Hang on 1 second. Are you still wanting to talk to someone, or are you just wanting his badge number?
I was wanting his badge number, and I was wanting to make a complaint with his supervisor.
Okay. His badge number is 503.
503, okay.
And I sent a message, and they're going to try to call you again.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, your phone's cutting out, man.
Okay, I was just at the Okmulgee courthouse to go to a court date, and there was two officers that were out there, two sheriffs, and the court clerk. She just identified one as a Smoky Passon or something like that, and she said that what I did was I brought a video camera with me so I could film my court hearing.
Yeah, but you can't film in the court.
Okay, so that was my question for you. What county or city penal code do you guys state that doesn't give me the authority to do that because there's a Supreme Court rule that says that I can here in the state of Oklahoma?
Well, you'll have to talk to the judge about that, not me. The judge says there's no recording in the courtroom, and there's no recording in the courtroom.
Okay, well, Title 5 of the Oklahoma State Statutes, Chapter.
I'm not here to argue. Listen to me. I'm not here to argue with you.
Okay.
I'm telling you what is posted, and that's how it is.
Okay, but see, the judge has no say so. You see what I'm saying? But
the judge does because it's her courtroom. I'm not going to argue.
Okay, I don't want to argue about that either. So now I want to move on to the next. So now I want to move on to the next situation. Okay, so now I need to file a complaint against Smokey for deprivation of like civil rights while acting under color of law.
Well, you're talking to Smokey right now.
So the sheriff who answered the phone purposely put me in contact with the same deputy that I was trying to file a complaint with.
That's fine.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you can file your complaint on paper and bring it to the sheriff's office.
Okay. So who was the other officer that was with you, and what's his badge number?
That is Deputy From.
No, the deputy that was with you.
Yep. You're not listening to me. I'm trying to tell you.
Okay.
Deputy From.
Okay.
522.
522. Nice. Okay, so who is your supervisor?
The sheriff.
What? Okay, so do I need to request a call from him to speak to him about making the complaint?
Well, you're probably not going to get to talk to him because he's got COVID. He's out. So
Okay.
try back next week.
Okay, so who's acting sheriff?
Well, that would probably be this guy, me. I've been taking care of the office since him and the other sheriff have been down.
Okay, so I have to wait until the original sheriff comes in to file a complaint against you because you're acting sheriff?
I told you can file a complaint, but you have to do that in writing. You have to turn that into the sheriff's office.
But I can mail that though, right?
Sure, if you like.
Okay.
You need our address?
No, I can Google that.
Well, make sure that you get it to the suite 102B, is in boy, because the jail and the sheriff's office actually have the same address.
Okay.
We're just different suites, so you'll need to make sure you get it addressed to suite 102B, as in boy.
102B.
Yep.
Okay, I appreciate it.
All right.
Bye-bye.
County Sheriff's Office. If you have an emergency.
Give you what?
Communications.
Oh yes, I just had a quick question. The sheriff's not in the office because he has COVID-19, correct?
I don't know why he's not in the office, but the office is shut down due to COVID, yes.
Who's the acting sheriff while he's away?
We have deputies on duty, and we have the undersheriff. We have chief deputy.
So the undersheriff would be Fred McGuire?
Yes.
Okay. No, it's just I had to clear that up because I spoke to a deputy yesterday. I was wanting to file a complaint, and I asked to speak to his supervisor, but I was transferred directly to the officer, and he didn't identify himself. And then when I said I wanted to file a complaint against him specifically, then he let me know that's who I was talking to, and then I asked him who his supervisor was.
Well, you weren't transferred. I was given the number to the chief deputy, and that's who gave you the phone call. So, is this Mr. Dill?
Yeah, but I was wanting to speak to his supervisor because he's the one that I'm making the complaint against.
Okay, well, he's the chief deputy, so
I would need to speak to the sheriff?
I'm assuming if that's who you want to speak to.
Well, because technically, but he would be a higher rank, so he would be the supervisor over him, correct?
Okay, hold on.
Okay. After you assist. There you go.
Okay, let me get you transferred.
This is Fred.
Yes, this is.
Hello?
Yes, this is Tyne and Dill. And
Yes, sir?
And I was needing to file a complaint against one of your deputies.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I had an order to come to court, and when I came to court, I had a video camera with me. Now, there's a Supreme Court ruling that gives me the authority to bring a video camera to the courtroom because the past law had already been superseded by April 2011. And I was trying to explain that to him, and he made me turn the camera off, and he wouldn't allow me to go into the courtroom for the hearing. And then he let me know that he was monitoring my Facebook, and he was telling me what I couldn't do in court, as far as using my rights. Because I had posted on Facebook that I was going to use a citizen's arrest for some of the things that the district attorney had been, for some of the things that the district attorney had committed against me. But, and I was letting him know that, and I don't know if he took it as that I was going to take from the podium and grab the district attorney's hand. No, I was going to give her to the magistrate. I was going to let the magistrate know my grounds and what I was doing it on, and I was going to have the bailiff perform the arrest or whatever. And he was telling me that I couldn't do it, And then when I told him that that's not what I was there to do today, and then he was like, "No, you're not ever going to do it." And I was like, well, how are you going to tell me what I can and can't do when I know that that's my right? And so then he goes on and he says
so I'm not going to expect you to swing or punch on anybody in this courtroom, are you? And I said, but you said that you monitored my Facebook, so wouldn't you know, or wouldn't you see anything about me saying something like that on Facebook that I was going to punch on anybody? Like, you know, that wasn't even my intention. Like, so then, like, he wouldn't allow me to go into the courtroom, and he made me sit down outside, and he told me to wait because the judge had somebody else that was on the docket or whatever, you know, and I didn't see what the problem was with me going into the courtroom and sitting on the bench and waiting for my name to be called, you know, as usual. And, like, so while I'm sitting outside, like, a court clerk comes outside, and she says, is this the time and deal that you guys have been talking about? Then he says, yes. So then she comes to me and she says, the judge doesn't want to hear anything that you got to say, like, until you pay the filing fees for this petition. Well, like, the petition that I tried to file, that had nothing to do with the court hearing that I was going for, you know, and I was trying to explain that to her that I had been filing things for the last 6 months, and that's what we're here to talk about today. And but the petition that you're referring to, you know, was filed like 7 days ago. You know, it didn't have anything to do with this hearing, you know, and it wasn't about to be heard. I wouldn't expect it to be heard today, and that's what I was telling her. And then she goes on to tell me, well, if you don't pay this filing fee, the judge don't want to hear anything that you got to say, all this other crap. Like, okay, so I told her, I said, well, I'm not able to like file or like pay the filing fee today. Like for you telling me that if I can't pay the filing fee, that there's no reason for me to be here, there's no court date. And she told me yes. But so I left. Well, the thing is, you know, I stay in Tulsa. I don't have transportation, you know, and the person I was with had to get back home to make sure the child that was inside the house by the time they got off to school or whatever. So that time frame of court just kind of planned out or whatever. But when they sent me home and we went back to Tulsa, there was no turning back around, you know. Like, so I get a call from the court clerk after I done called her and I complained to her for a little bit. And she told me that she later on spoke to the judge and that the judge told me that I needed to be there and she wanted me to come back, you know, and all this other crap. And I was like, well, the situation that I had with the two deputies outside, like, they wouldn't try to allow me to come in the first place. I wanted to come in. I wanted to have my argument. I wanted to come in and tell you guys I needed a continuance, like, so that way I can gather all my evidence and make sure every document served correctly and everybody, but, you know, and that's what I was coming in for, just to ask for a continuance. I wasn't going in there to argue with anybody. I wasn't going in there to I was coming there to ask for a continuance, and he was assuming I was coming in there to arrest, like this and that and the third, and he was telling me that I wasn't allowed to record. Well, I know, and like he pointed at a sign that was just put on the door. I know it's put on the door because I've been up there filing at the courthouse, and I've walked around the courthouse, and I've looked around for like the papers that say like no recording, and there's been no papers, you know, at those times. So I come here like on my court date, and there's a fresh new paper that's there's tape on the wall. It says no video recording or whatever, but it doesn't have a county or a city penal code that gives them the authority to keep me from bringing in like the camera. So that's why I told him. I said, well, like there's no penal code that you guys have right here, and I have the citation from the Oklahoma Supreme Court stating that I'm allowed to bring a camera to the courtroom regardless of what the judge thinks about it. Like, the judge doesn't have no say-so. I don't have to ask the judge. There's nothing that I have to say to the judge because that rule has been superseded. Like,
Mr. Deal?
Yeah.
Mr. Deal, would you agree that the sheriff's office is the enforcement arm of the district court?
Yeah, I agree to that.
Okay, then we have to do what the judge tells us.
But you guys also took an oath.
Well, I can't take complaints. I can't take complaints of the court. That has to be directed to the administrative office of courts in Oklahoma City. Now, if you want to complain on the deputy, you're more than welcome to do so, but it has to be done in writing, and it has to be mailed in. And I can give you that address to do as quickly as possible, and we will conduct an internal investigation and then notify you of our findings.
Well, there's another thing, too. When I wanted to make the initial complaint I was transferred over to him, and I was speaking to him, didn't know about it or whatever, and so I told him, I wanted to file the complaint, and then he told me that I was talking to him. So then I told him, well, I can't file a complaint with somebody that I'm filing it against. And
well, you can file it with me.
Right. But so then I asked to speak to his supervisor, and he told me that the sheriff was his supervisor. And then I said, transfer me over to the sheriff so I can speak to the sheriff. And then he said, well, the sheriff's got COVID-19 and he's out of the office, but you need to try back next week. So I said, okay, well, if the sheriff's not in the office, who's the acting sheriff while he's gone? And he said, well, technically that's me. I'm the acting sheriff. And after
yes, because I wasn't there.
I mean, but you're not on bed.
But I'm here today.
You're not on sick leave.
I'm not the sheriff. I'm the undersheriff.
But when the sheriff is gone, you're next in command.
All right, but I wasn't here yesterday, so that leaves him.
Right.
So, do you wish to file a complaint, Mr. Bill?
Yes. But I have the address already.
Okay, would you like the address? Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Does it say Suite 104 on there?
Yeah.
Or Suite 102, I mean?
Yeah, B. Like
no.
102B?
Suite 104. I'm sorry, shoot. Suite 102.
Yeah.
I don't know about a B.
Well, that's what Smokey told me yesterday. He said to mail it in to Suite 102B because you guys are in the same building as the jail.
Yeah, that'll get right to us. That'll get right to us.
Okay.
Just make sure you direct it to Sheriff Eddie Rice.
Okay. All right, I appreciate it.
Okmulgee County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Eddie Rice, okay?
Yeah. I appreciate your time.
Okay. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Bye-bye.
So when I was asked to leave, court still proceeded. So what happened in the courtroom after I left? No court minute has been filed. These documents usually get filed the very same day. And here we are 4 or 5 days later and it's still not filed. So let's take out another court minute that was filed by the exact same judge. This is my appeal that got dismissed when I tried to modify my child support. Judge Reheard set this hearing for April 7th of 2021. This is the court minute from my failure to appear for this hearing, which was in the district court of the Okmulgee County. Notice how this court minute was filed the very same day that the court had the hearing, which was April 7th, 2021. Taking a look at the order that was filed for that hearing, if we look at the file date on this, it was a day after the hearing. So looking at both of these documents, we can see that the court minute is filed the same day and the court order is filed the day after. So why is it taking 4 or 5 days and fighting with the court clerk about trying to see what the outcome was of this court hearing that I was forced and asked to leave from? These next recordings are going to be phone calls with the judge's chambers and the county court clerk trying to request a copy of the court minute. So this is August 19th, 2021.
Thank you for calling the Okmulgee County Court.
Court clerk's office.
Yes, I had a court hearing that I was supposed to appear for yesterday, and I didn't. And I was wanting to know what the outcome of that court hearing was.
What's your name?
But my first name's Tynan and my last name's Dill.
You're welcome. How do you spell your first name?
My
my first name is spelled Tyn. Tynan.
Trying to find. Can I put you on hold and try to figure it out from somebody? I don't see your stuff on our computer.
Yeah, it's because I was saying I couldn't find it on the website either.
Okay, 1 second.
I'd be a legend for that in my group.
What did you have court for?
I had a court hearing at 1:30 with Judge Reheard for a child.
So the fines and
no for a child support matter and for a child custody and visitation establishment.
okay, 1 second. Okay.
See, that's what I'm saying. You wasn't doing nothing, going straight up to that and trying to kill yourself.
Damn.
See, he was coming at you too. Wait, you beat him though. Or you took him right there.
Are you still there? We don't have court minutes yet from yesterday, so you can try again tomorrow. We might have them.
Okay. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
And this is August 20th, 2021.
Thank you for
Yes, I was trying to get on a court minute from Judge Reheard on the 18th on a court hearing that I didn't appear for.
Okay, you're trying to get a court minute. I'm sorry, you were either breaking up or something. Do you know your case number, or can I get your name?
So my case number is it's SP 2012 0008.
Dale?
Yeah.
We don't have a court minute in yet.
Like usually when do you guys get them in?
What, you said it was yesterday?
No, it was the day before yesterday.
Day before yesterday. Let me ask that deputy if she has the court minutes for that.
Okay.
Can I put you on hold?
Yeah.
Yes. That's why I look back, because I got everything going on.
Okay, let's hit this voicemail real quick. Oh, man. You looking at it still?
2 new voice messages and 8 saved messages. New message. From the show,
That's all I need to know. I'll see the referral. We'll say that one. Sound like Karen. She said, well.
Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you give us a call back in a little bit? The bailiff that should have that court minute is on lunch.
Yeah. I'll give you a call back in like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So, okay.
All right. I'm sorry about that. I know you keep calling me.
Oh, no, it's fine.
All right. Bye.
Thank you for calling the Okmulgee County Court.
Court clerk's office.
My name is Tynan Dill, and I called earlier about...
Yes.
Okay.
I've talked to you a couple times. That bailiff did just bring over some court minutes, so let me see if I can get my hands on yours. I'm going to put you on hold and go look through the pile.
Okay.
Okay. This is Julia.
I believe I was speaking with somebody on the phone that was going through the court minutes for August 18th.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't say anything about transferring me to anybody else. I mean, I don't know what's going on.
Hold on. What was your case number again, Simon?
It's SP 2012 0008.
You were trying to get a court minute from the other day when you was in court, right?
Yeah.
Or supposed to be in court. Okay. Hold on just a minute. I'm going to put you on hold, and I'm going to go over and ask Steve where those court minutes are, okay? So it may be a few seconds, so don't hang up.
Okay, I won't.
Okay? Okay, Tynan.
Now the 21st.
The judge is in a meeting right now, and as soon as she gets out of that meeting,
so we had to pick it back
Steve is going to have her
on August 23rd.
Call me so I can go over and find out
so
about the court minute, like where it's at.
August,
if you want to call me back,
Thank you for
I'll say
calling
about
the
4
Okmulgee
o'clock.
County Court Clerk's Office.
Hopefully she'll be out of those meetings. And then I can ask her about the court minute. Because as of right now, I still don't have a court minute from that court the other day. So
your phone's cutting in and out. How can we help you?
But yeah, call me back about 4:30, or not 4:30, 4 o'clock.
No, she's not in today. Is there something we can help you with?
Yes, I was.
I will see about where that court minute is at, and when it's going to be submitted to the system.
I was looking for a court minute on the OSCN.
All right, thank you.
And I haven't seen one in like the last 84 hours.
Okay. What's the name?
That my first name is Tynan. That my last name is Dill.
Okay, have you called over to the child support office? Because they as well process the paperwork over there. And they would also have a copy of anything that has went through court.
Yes, I sent them an email, and I haven't received a response yet.
Because I don't show anything scanned in from that day. So I don't know. I know Julia's caught up on her paperwork, so I don't know. I don't show any paperwork in the system.
Like when I spoke to Julia on Friday, that she told me she was going to go ask Judge Reherd's bailiff for the court minute because he never gave it to her, and she was supposed to give me a call back before 4:30 on Friday, and she never gave me a call back. So I was kind of checking the status to see if anybody's received that from the bailiff.
Okay, I can go check back up there on her desk. Like I said, she's not here today, so I don't know what's going on, but give me just a second and I'll go look. Okay, like I said, Julia doesn't have any paperwork back there. She's all caught up. Judge Reard is in court right now, but if you want to call back later today and listen to the options and pick the option for Judge Reard's office, you can to someone over there or talk to someone at child support because they have the same paperwork we would have as well.
Okay, I appreciate you.
Yep, no problem.
The person you have dialed can't take your call now. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, simply hang up or press pound for further options.
Steve, this is Tynan Dill. You had told me to send you an email last Wednesday that was in regards to the court hearing on August 18th with Judge Reard. I sent you an email, and I haven't received a response back, and I also haven't seen a court minute that was in regards to that court hearing, and the court clerk has verified that she hasn't received that document from you. If you would give me a call back at 4, I would like a copy of the court minute that had happened with the court hearing on August 18th. Thank you.
State of Oklahoma Child Support Services.
Para continuar en español, presione el número 8.
Thank you for calling the State of Oklahoma Child Support Services. Did you know? You can access and provide case information by logging in at www.okbenefits.org. That's www.okbenefits.org. For information about payments and balances, press 1. For information about hearings, press 2. To request an application for services, hear about paternity establishment, or request a form, press 3. To find the nearest Child Support Services office, press 4. If you're a child support employee from another jurisdiction, press 5. If you are an employer, press 6. For all other callers, press 7. To repeat these options, press 9. Calls may be monitored or recorded for quality assurance.
Thank you for calling Child Support. This is Chandra. May I have your social security number and then your name?
My social security number and my first and last name is Tynan Dill.
Thank you, Mr. Dill. May I have the name of the other party involved, the other adult party involved?
Charlotte Stokely.
And then lastly, can you verify your current mailing address and telephone number? All right, thank you for all that information. How can I help you?
Okay. I had a court hearing with child support on August 18th at the District County Courthouse, and I've been in contact with the county court clerk there, trying to get a court minute for that hearing, and she's telling me that that it's not in her system, and that I need to contact Child Support Services about getting a copy of that court minute.
Okay, that took place in district court?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see how we can try and help you with that matter. Can you hold just a moment?
Yeah.
Thank you for holding, Mr. Dill.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you for holding. So I will have to go ahead and get a message over to the office to have them make them aware of your request to see if they can get that released to you.
Okay. Are you seeing it in your system?
No, we don't have that information accessible to us here at the call center. So that's for the reason that I have to send a message to the office to have them, to let them know your request, that they can get that mailed to you, sent to you. So you can check back on it in about 7 to 10 business days to allow them time enough to go through the information they need to go through.
Yes. And if you could also.
Okay.
Yes, if you could also send a request for them to give me a call to verify that they do have that document.
I can send a request. The best way to reach out to them directly is by email. But I can send the request that you're asking for that.
Okay, I'll try email too.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm. This is the email that I sent to the CARES email for Child Support Services, and I also sent an email to the Okmulgee office requesting the court minute from them and asking them if they had a copy of it.
Thank you for calling the Okmulgee County Court Clerk's Office. Our business hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30.
Court clerk's office.
Yep. This is Tyne and Dill. I just tried to give you guys a call about 5 minutes ago. I'm not sure if I spoke to you or somebody else.
Okay, so you did get through to someone.
Yeah, I spoke to someone, but I don't know if I spoke to you or if it was somebody else. But I needed to speak to the same person I was speaking to.
Okay. She said that we still don't have any paperwork and you need to contact the child support office.
Well, that's what I did. I contacted the child support office, and they told me they don't have that paperwork. And like the hearing that was for August 18th wasn't just for child support matters. It was for a child custody and child visitation establishment with the baby mama too. Like so that should be filed within the district court system.
Okay. Let me see if she's on the phone and helping someone right now, so give us 1 second.
Okay.
Thank you for calling the Okmulgee County Court Clerk's Office. Our business hours are Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. For protective order and juvenile court, press 1. For divorce, guardianship, probate, and
Court clerk's office, how can I help you?
Yes. Are you the one that I spoke to earlier? About the.
What's your name?
My first name's Tynan, last name's Dill.
Yes.
Can
do for you.
I contacted the child support office, and they told me they don't have that document. And then, I'm like, another thing, is that the hearing wasn't just for child support; it was also for child custody and child visitation establishment, and that would have been filed with the court, with the district court.
I don't show that you had a court date last week. What day were you coming to court?
That was on Wednesday, the 18th at 1:30 in room 2 with Judge Reheard. If you look on my docket, you'll see.
It may be under the child. What is the child's name? It may be under the child's name, not your name.
It would be the child's name is J-Ron Stokely, but his name's not mentioned on any of the documents.
Okay. Well, like I said, I don't show any paperwork that came through this office. I don't have any paperwork coming from. Let's see. So you went before Judge Reard on what day again? Tell me.
That was on Wednesday.
Wednesday. Okay. I'm just going back through and looking through some things.
See,
Judge Reard. And what time? Do you remember what time you came?
I got there at 1:20, and my court date was set for 1:30.
Okay, let's see. And so when you left that day, no paperwork was given to you at all?
No, because I was told that I can't be there and that I needed to leave.
Okay, the only thing I know to do is once Judge Reard gets out of court, she has a large small claims docket this morning, so I can't go in there and interrupt her right now. Once they get out of court, I can try to talk to their bailiff and ask them, are they aware of any paperwork Because I don't see anything in there.
Yeah, because the situation is, I came up there for court at 1:30. When I came inside the court clerk's office. I asked you guys where the court was being held at, and you guys pointed me to the room that was next door to the court clerk's office. And I walk outside, and there's two sheriffs out there, and they stopped me. They asked me if I was tying in Dill, and I told them, yeah. He told me to shut my camera off, and
yeah, there's no video up here at all inside the courtroom.
Well, see, I'm not gonna go through the argument with that, but legally I can bring a camera in. I can record my hearings.
Sir, there's signs outside on the door that says you cannot bring in video cameras into court. You can take that up with the judge.
But there is no penal code that gives you guys the authority to enforce that. And
okay, I'm not the judge. I'm not next door. But what I'm telling you is I do not have any paperwork. And if you're not going to let me talk, I'm going to hang up the phone.
Ma'am, I need to.
What I'm telling you is I do not have any paperwork. Once the judge gets out of court, I will ask her, and then you can call us back a little later this afternoon, and I can tell you what she told me.
That's fine. But
other than that, any other discrepancies, I'm not going to talk about.
But wait a minute.
So you have a nice day. You can call us back later today. Thank you.
I don't want to talk about.
For calling the County Court.
Court clerk's office.
Yes. Can I speak to the court clerk I was just speaking to? She was very rude.
Yeah, she's actually busy. She can't talk right now, but you can call back in a little bit and talk to her.
Yeah. Could you just let her know that I don't want to continue talking about like the video camera use. I want to go on about what happened yesterday, so that way I can have this as evidence. Because there's no reason.
You can talk to the sheriff about it.
Well, see, the sheriff's not complying with it either, and I'm trying to see what's going on as far as what happened with the court date on August 18th. Because I was forced out of the courtroom. I wasn't allowed to come into the courtroom, and I was told to leave. And I don't know what happened with the court date, and now there's no court minute that's supposed to be filed with you guys coming from the court bailiff. And and I know from other experiences that whenever a court minute comes in, it immediately gets filed that day, and it pops up on the OCN, OCN network. So I'm trying to figure out why the court minute hasn't been filed with you guys, and how come that I'm not able to know that what happened at this court date that I was ordered to be at.
Well, we can't tell you what happened at the court date if we don't have any court minute for the court date.
So what, court just never happened because they told me to leave, or what's going on?
We don't know. We haven't got a court minute.
How do you
like I said, you can call back later. You can talk to the sheriff.
How do you guys not have a court minute almost a week later after the court date happened? And it happened.
We're not in charge of that. We file the paperwork given to us.
But how long does it take for you guys to get the court minutes usually from the court dates happening?
Whenever the bailiff gives it to us.
Well, like here the past year that I've been filing things, they've been like immediately the same day that you guys get them.
That judge is in court. If you'd like to talk to someone else, you can call the sheriff, or you can wait and talk to a judge after she's out of court.
Okay. Can you request that the judge call me so I can speak to her specifically?
I doubt the judge will call you. You can call back and talk to the judge.
Would I be talking to the judge, or would I be talking to her bailiff, Steve Tremmel? Because Steve Tremmel's ignoring my calls, too. So I'm just trying to figure out what happened after court. I don't understand why it's a big secret.
It's not a secret. We don't have the information for you. You would have to talk to Steve, or you'd have to talk to Judge Reard. They have been in court all morning. She's covering for other judges, too. So you can call back when they're not in court, and you can talk to them. But that's all we
I've
have
tried
to
that
tell you.
since Wednesday, and Steve is ignoring my calls. I sent him an email like he asked me to, and he's ignored the email, and he's ignoring my calls. So who do I need to speak to specifically to find out just what happened for this court?
Just Steve's ignoring your call.
Sir, all we can do is wait for the judge to get out of court. There's nothing further we can help you with in this office until we speak to the judge.
Okay, well, can you let her know this, please? Because I'm just trying to figure out what happened.
No, sir.
Okay.
Sir, I will speak to the judge when she gets out of court. You can call us back. Okay, you're talking over me again.
Ma'am, I will be calling back.
Okay,
Thank
all right.
you. Goodbye.
Okay, so today is the 23rd of August, 2021. This is the Oklahoma State Court Network's website, and this is my paternity case that the court hearing was set for. So, if you look right here under events, the first event, it doesn't have a date, but it says at 1:30, and it was a hearing date with Judge Reard. Okay, but this is what I wanted to show you guys. We're going on 4 days, and there is no document of a court minute or an order that was in regards to that hearing that was on August 18th. Now, this is just some more evidence for today of the 23rd of August. Continuing on with August 24th, 2021, these are the recorded calls with the district court clerk and judges' chambers for this day.
Call the judge's chambers first.
Judge's chambers.
Yes, I was calling to see what the outcome was of a court hearing that was on the 18th of August.
Okay, you can check with the court clerk for a court minute.
Well, I've been calling them, and I've actually got to an argument with them yesterday. They said that Judge Reard's bailiff hasn't brought them a court minute for them to file yet.
Okay. Well, what's your name, and I'll check and see what the status is on it.
My first name is Tynan, and my last name is Dill.
Okay, we'll check on it and get that filed.
Can you tell me if it's available now? I mean, I've been trying to call for like a week.
I don't know, sir. Judge's bailiff is not here yet.
Okay. So what should I do? I should just give you guys a call back here in an hour or so?
I don't know.
You don't know?
You can try that. I don't, sir. Sorry.
Okay. Well, I'll just try to give a call back here in about an hour or so.
Okay. That'd be great. Thank you.
Court clerk's office.
Yes, this is Tynan Dill, and I was calling to see if you guys had received the court minute from the judge's bailiff yesterday.
Let me see. Hang on just a moment.
Okay.
Okay, Tynan, thank you for holding. We have not got that yet. She came in this yesterday, and she said that she needed to get it to us, but we were so short-handed yesterday, the judges as well. So hopefully this morning we'll get that.
Okay. I appreciate it.
Okay, so yeah, no problem. Maybe call us around 9:30, and we'll see if we've got that yet, okay?
Sweet, okay, that's what I'll do.
All right. We'll talk to you then.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for calling the Okmulgee County Court.
Court clerk's office.
Yes, I was calling to check to see if Judge Reher's bailiff has brought in a court minute for a court hearing that was set for the 18th of August.
Okay, 1 second. I can transfer you to someone that can help you.
Okay.
This is Julia. Can I help you?
Yes. Mrs. Tynan.
This is Julia.
I called this morning, and I spoke with a male in the court clerk's office, and he had said something about that to give you guys a call back around 10 to see if Steve has brought the court minute.
The judge actually brought the court minute over. Motion to dismiss, vacate, objection to service. It shows that the defendant's request to continue is denied as moot. And she has the reasons why on here. So if you want to appeal that, you'll have to go through the Supreme Court to appeal the motion.
What will that document be?
It's it's scanned in right now.
Nice. Okay.
You should be able to see it, but if not, I know probably in the next 24 hours you should be able to see it. Or you can send in a request to get a copy of it.
What does it say about like the matter of child custody and child visitation?
I didn't really read it, so let's see. It says proceedings regarding custody and visitation raised by the defendant in pleadings directed to the plaintiff, Charlotte Stokely, shall be set for hearing upon presentment of an order setting hearing and upon proper service on plaintiff Stokely.
Does that mean that another court date's being set for that?
You'll have to do that.
Okay.
It says shall be set for a hearing upon presentment of an order setting hearing and upon proper service on plaintiff Stokely.
Well, those things were already done, and the order is already set for hearing for that, and that was for August 18th.
Okay, well, you're needing to reset a new hearing.
Okay. So did that get dismissed? The first one got dismissed, and I have to refile, or I'm not understanding why.
Well, your motion for continuance was denied.
So then that means
you can get a copy of this court minute and you can read it, sir. It's online. You can read it online.
Wait for it to get online. Just go ahead and read it.
Okay, but it is filed.
I appreciate you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Right.
So finally, after 4 or 5 days, the court minute was finally filed and available for download. So let's go ahead and take a look at it and see what it says. So let's talk about it and let's break it down. We're going to go over every paragraph and we're going to see exactly what they mean. Paragraph 1. So in the first sentence, they're admitting that I did appear prior to the calling of the court docket. They even admitted that their courthouse security would not allow me to use my body camera inside the courtroom. And no, I didn't go to grab a pauper's affidavit because they told me that the pauper's affidavit didn't have time to be processed by the judge because she was already in court. So in the last sentence, they go off to name everything that I named in my motions. Now, they're saying that those things are barred. Barred because I filed a motion to vacate, and because my case is 9 years old, it should have been by petition. And then I also didn't file a summons to Child Support Services. 7 days before the court hearing date, I tried to file the petition and summons. Now with that summons and petition, I also filed a motion for continuance to set the court date to a later date because I wasn't done filing things. I hadn't served the witness and I hadn't served the other parties the new filings. So the court clerk received these documents and called me and told me that she wasn't able to file the petition or the summons because it required a pauper's affidavit. She told me she could file the motion for continuance, but the petition was going to require the filing fees to be paid or a pauper's affidavit to be submitted before the judge would consider talking about it during the hearing. So I told the court clerk that the petition didn't have anything to do with the court hearing that was being set, and that I was going to file a motion to continue so that way we could file the petition later and the petition could be heard later. This petition is what was keeping me from going in the courtroom, according to the court clerk, who asked me to leave. This petition did not have to be discussed that day, and it could have been discussed for a later time, but she was using it as a tool to render me from entering the courtroom and coercing me by telling me that the judge wasn't going to have anything to hear that I had to say because this petition was not filed yet. Here's a phone call on August 11th from the court clerk's office telling me that she couldn't file the petition, but she could file the motion for continuance.
This is Julia from the court clerk's office. And we have received some paperwork for you for petition to vacate the summons
we got it.
It's actually issued to the plaintiff. And both of those documents cost to file.
I have a pauper's affidavit that's in my case.
I don't know. But it's some weird.
And I've been filing these things for free since I want to say July.
Okay, so, but she just reconsidered the 7684 on the first one that you did. On the
so basically, long story short, I need to pay for those filings that I just sent.
Yeah, I'm not certain because she won't sign the order. Unless, I guess maybe you need to file a pauper's affidavit also on these filings.
Okay.
Petition to vacate and the other summons.
What about the motion, like the motion for, the motion to continue.
The affidavit for motion for continuance, I can file stamp that, and then the brief in support of motion to vacate and dismiss void default judgment. I can file stamp those, but the other two, I can't file stamp until we actually get payment.
So what's the cost of that?
Or, motion to vacate was under motion modified. So it's going to be 7660. Which one is it? No, because there's money already in there. No, please, try to do it. 7664 for the motion to vacate and $10 for the first. So 86.
And then if I get a, I don't know, if I get like a pauper's affidavit?
Yeah, to file for both of these documents where she can waive them. Now, she may only waive them like she did the other until at the end of the deal. Because right now, once we've added this motion to vacate in there, it brought the total up to $336.
Okay.
Because on that first pauper, she only waived it until the final hearing.
Right.
So you might keep in mind that you may have to pay all that day of the final hearing.
Is that after the hearing or before the hearing?
She says, reconsidered at final hearing. So she'll look at that at the final hearing.
Okay. But I know I'm not gonna be able to afford but the $86. So I'm gonna go ahead and file a pauper's affidavit.
Okay, if you want to send that in and address that to Julia, I'm just going to hold off on files. Do you want me to go ahead and file the other two?
Yeah, like the motion to continue.
The affidavit in the brief in report?
Yes, please.
Okay, I'll file them up for today. I'll hold the other two, and I was just going to let you know, when you send in your paperwork, you probably want to send extra, like at least one copy of each extra. That way we can send copies back to you and a self-addressed.
Nice.
We can mail you your copies back too.
Nice, okay.
Okay?
All right, I appreciate you, man.
All right, just send that in and address it to me, and that way I can take it over there to her to see, what she wants to do with that. Okay?
All right.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Julia.
Bye-bye.
There was never a pauper's affidavit that was filed for the matter of the child support case dismissal, but there was a pauper's affidavit that was granted for the matter of child custody and child visitation. So without the pauper's affidavit for the child support order dismissal, they have still been filing my motions for free since May 20th. So I'm still not understanding why the issue arises right before court for this petition that has nothing to do with the court hearing that was set. The next sentence that I wanted to talk about was the defendant's request for continuance is denied as moot. Not only was I done gathering evidence, and not only did I not finish serving every party, but also I had a witness that was being subpoenaed to court, and that witness was the private process server who had claimed to serve me in person, and she was supposed to bring documents showing that she indeed served me in person. So for starters, the first thing I wanted to point out was that the motion for continuance was removed from the online court dockets. This document was available, and I happened to get a download of it before it was removed. So here is that document. And the two reasons why I was requesting this continuance was because I needed more time to get ready to represent myself for this hearing, and then I needed more time to get important evidence and subpoena and serve notice on an important witness who was the private process server who claimed to serve me that day. So we're going to go ahead and prove it. On July 19th, I filed a subpoena ducis tecum to Melissa Spencer to come in as a witness for this hearing. This document was filed and granted. The only thing that I needed to do was serve Melissa Spencer. But with the upkeep of drafting new documents and having to work on my car, I couldn't do it in time, so I was asking for a continuance. So I don't understand why my motion to continue was denied, because I showed good cause as to a reason why. So the last sentence here says, the court finds that the motion to vacate raises no new issue not covered in prior pleadings, and this court's ruling today renders the motion to vacate moot. May 20th was when I started filing for the matters that were regarding this court hearing. The first thing that I filed was a motion to dismiss due to lack of personal jurisdiction. So with that document, I also submitted the interrogatories and request for production, and I also filed a notice of motion of ejection. And all three of these documents were filed for free without me having to pay a filing fee. Here is the motion that Judge Reheard is referring to, that she is claiming that I never filed with the court system. Well, here it is with the filed stamp of May 20th, 2021. But filing this motion was the wrong step, because child support filed a motion to dismiss. And the grounds that they claimed was that I didn't proceed by the required petition because I did it by motion. And then on top of that, I didn't file a summons that was issued to child support services. They are also claiming that I did not challenge personal jurisdiction within the proper time frame, but this motion was brought pursuant to the Oklahoma discovery rule because I have just now found out about this fraud. So by the discovery rule, the statute of limitations doesn't start until the fraud has been discovered. So in an attempt to fix things before the court hearing, I went ahead and I took a copy of the motion that I filed, and I took out the word motion and put petition, and I attempted to file that on August the 11th. With that petition, I filed a motion for continuance as well. The court clerk called me the day she received these, which was August 11th, and she informed me that she could file the motion for continuance, but I would have to pay a filing fee to file the petition. So because court was 7 days away and I didn't have the money to pay for the filing fees, then I just went ahead and I disregarded the petition and just wanted to go ahead and discuss the matters that have already been filed, because I knew more than likely that my motion to challenge jurisdiction was going to get dismissed since it wasn't brought by petition, but I still had the opportunity to discuss the matter of child custody and child visitation. So on August 18th, that's what I wanted to discuss, and I wanted to ask for a continuance on the child support dismissal matter. And that's when I showed up at court, and I was coerced by the court clerk to pay the filing fee for this petition for me to enter the courtroom and speak to the judge about the other matters, when the petition had nothing to do with the court hearing that was going on that day. She disregarded what I said when I told her that I wasn't here to discuss what was written on the petition, and I was here to discuss what was already filed. She told me that if I could not pay the filing fees, that the judge would not hear anything that I had to say today, and that I needed to leave. So because I couldn't pay the filing fee for this petition that was irrelevant to the court hearing, I was forced not to enter the courtroom and told to go home. So this is the last sentence that was on the court minute. It says, proceedings regarding custody and visitation raised by the defendant in pleadings directed to the plaintiff, Charlotte Stokely, shall be set for hearing upon presentment of an order setting hearing and upon proper service on plaintiff Stokely. They are acting as if I never filed any of these documents, but if they look on the court dockets, then they could see these things. Here is the summons that I filed. Here is the petition for court-ordered child visitation and custody that I also filed. Here is my entry of appearance that I also filed. Here are the interrogatories and requests for production that I filed for my child custody and child visitation matter. Here is the granted pauper's affidavit that is also filed. And here is the proof of service by a private process server that was also filed, showing that the plaintiff Stokely was properly served. And here is the order setting hearing that was signed by Judge Reheard for the 18th of August at 1:30 p.m. in courtroom 2 with the Okmulgee County District Courthouse. This is filed. The conclusion is pretty simple. They forced to keep me out of the courtroom so that I wouldn't appear, so that the outcome that is written on the court minute and final order was going to be against me. They tried to first use the excuse that I wasn't able to bring a body camera in when I clearly showed the citation giving me authority to do so without the express permission from the judge. The second thing was that the deputy told me that I wasn't able to exercise my right of citizen's arrest. The third thing that they tried to keep me out of the courtroom with was he assumed that I was going to punch or fight someone during the court hearing. The fourth problem was that instead of allowing me into the courtroom, he made me sit outside the courtroom. What was wrong with me going in and sitting down and waiting for my name to be called just as normal? Finally, the court clerk came and tried to coerce me to pay the filing fee for a petition that was irrelevant to the court hearing that was at hand. And by refusing to pay that filing fee, she told me that the judge didn't want to hear anything that I had to say and that I needed to leave. This resulted in my failure to appear and the results of the outcome of this hearing to be what is written on the court minute. These individuals deprived me of my civil rights while acting under the color of law. They had no authority to keep me from entering the courtroom, for starters, and they had no authority from keeping me out of the courtroom for reasoning of having a body camera and wanting to record my court hearing. They deprived me of my right to use video recording devices in the courtroom, and they deprived me of my right to be heard in front of a justice for a court hearing that I was ordered to be at.